We'll see what happens in 2024. This is a big election year. Because of that, markets will tend to be supported.
GM friends, and thanks for tuning in to DeFi-Logic's TA Tuesday, every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time. Server members enjoy weekly community calls, request chart reviews, and join in on the live discussions. Link is in the video description below. For today, we have an Ethereum-focused call. It's looking pretty bearish over there, in my opinion, but we might get a nice little rotation. Eddie's going to help us out with that. So we got Ethereum Optimism, LIDO, Arbitrum, Ethereum Proof of Work, Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, 10 Inu is apparently looking bullish, and SEI or SEI or however you say that. For legacy markets, we got S&P 500, Dow Jones Industrial, NASDAQ 100, US dollar index, and finally gold. And with that, Eddie is going to start off the show.
Good morning. What's up, everyone? Let's get after it. So we'll just start with Ethereum first. The reason, so I'm personally just kind of on Ethereum and Ethereum basket, just because me and some people who are much smarter than all think that once BTC ETF gets approved, Ethereum should start moving because that's next on the docket, right? So if you were watching previous streams, we're really well positioned in it already. So for, I don't know, it's been 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks where I drew this high time frame resistance that was getting flipped. I want to say we were like up around here when I first initially did it. Was that just want to buy slowly into this level. And if you did, I bought spot here with an average entry basically right around here. We're really well positioned. Now, if you're not in that, I think I was also posting buying into this 12H level as well. So multiple entries to get in. However, I know people like to wait until things are starting to look more bullish than just jumping in when they're not looking good. Choppy right now, but I'm gonna pull up a different chart because this one that I have my current trade in. The other one's just at a high time frame level. Okay, yeah. So I've also been playing this range too, rebuying into this 12-hour level, and I'm aiming for this zone up here. In my opinion, this is a bullish range. It's looking really good. I'm perfectly fine buying dips into this, and then on a higher on leverage, and then on a higher time frame, the last chart I had, I'm perfectly fine buying into those levels as well on spot. So obviously, first target is up here for me. Don't know if we're going to get all the way down here again. So my next line of thinking is if I can get dips down into this area right here, so around 23, 20, 28, I'll look to add back to positions that I've already taken out of, right? So the idea of Ethereum is we're building a swing position and I just add to it on dips. Here's my first target liquidity area, and then the next one's much higher. It's like 2,800, I think. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So there's somewhere in this region, who knows how hard it's gonna go, but this is basically where I'm looking at going for my next take profit area, right up around here. So obviously with trading, you can be wrong. That's why you manage your risk. But I mean, so far, I feel like I'm pretty right about it. This was a pretty obvious retest zone to be buying, which I told people that we should buy this. You're up a lot if you have been, and now I'm just adding to the position as I get higher. So that's the plan with Ethereum. I think it goes much higher. You take out this level and start pulling bullish price action above it. Oh, that's what we want to see. And then if it does it here again too, I have no idea. I'm just looking at one level at a time. But that's basically mid time frame, high time frame idea of Ethereum. Speaking of Ethereum too, Vitalik put this stuff out, and this is bullish too, right? So first we have Panda, so I guess that was the past, and then now we have Wave, which was also the past. One thing that I think needs to be really important with Wave is training wheels between 6 and 8. I think that limited training wheels for 6 to 8-year-olds is definitely key. I'm just BSing here, sorry guys. And then we have Zombie, so whatever that means, and then check mark, right? So check mark, and then some sweeping gonna happen. So hopefully, sweeping these highs or something. And then top hat. So whatever that means, Vitalik I think is bullish, right? Top hat is the end goal. So I think that Panda was that one picture of him with his girlfriend that was circulating last year. So we're moving on from that, it seems like. That's Ethereum. Moving on. Okay. So for a while now, again, I've been saying the same stuff over and over again, but I've been pretty bullish on the Ethereum basket, which OP is in that for me. And obviously it's been performing really well. However, again, let's look for new entries in it if you're not already in. I think I was buying spot a while ago though. So just looking at some pullback areas, there could be a pretty good market-wide pullback once the Bitcoin ETF approves. I don't think it's going to be all that aggressive because I think everybody who was going to sell the news already has, but we'll see. If you're not an experienced trader, when that news comes out, just watch price action. Don't do anything because you'll probably get chopped up. But I'm actually short OP right now. It's funny because I'm bullish on it, but I'm currently short it somewhere like around here. Mainly because I just want this level to get retagged again. I feel like it will, but who knows? So I'm looking to get back into long positions somewhere around here. That big weekly level I was showing, it could trade deeper into it. Obviously, this is very inefficient price action, right? There's some like pretty decent highs over here. So again, this isn't really something that I'm going to be blindly just bidding. I'm going to look for that whole similar fractal to point out. Want some lows to be taken, and then some new lows, and then some reclaims to start looking for upside in it. But I think this is going to keep going. It's clearly in price discovery right now. I already did that thing that Ethereum did where it retested the breakout zone, but I think it needs to come up. I would like for it to come a little bit deeper. So that's basically the plan for it right now, is somewhere around here, hopefully, and aim for higher. $5 is a pretty round number. I'll probably aim for something like that. That's OP. LIDO, same thing. It's been putting in bullish price action. I actually don't have anything in this right now. We got some resistance here, currently S&P net resistance. We have some pretty decent support right here. Basically everything looks like Ethereum did, right? It's breaking out of that range and I want it to retest it. Look at this weekly candle. So I know it just opened, but there's no bottom wick. And you know how crypto likes to fill that in. So I'm going to be looking to be a buyer around here. Potentially it can sweep that wick down here. If it does, that's going to perform a really nice invalidation of the fractal that I want. So that's what I'm looking at here with LIDO, is some dips down into this area. Look for some bullish price action to get long. We haven't even made new highs yet, and I think it will. Probably same idea. $5 is a really nice round number. I'll probably start looking to take some off there. And later on in weeks, hopefully we can catch a stream that it's starting to slow down a bit and we can get some exits together. But that's what I'm looking at here. This just looks like a pretty obvious level to tap into, especially since there's no bottom wick on that weekly. Probably same thing with the daily. Yeah, look at that. That's gonna get taken out. Not on LIDO. Maybe I should short LIDO too, because I'm very confident that comes down lower. This is just a great support here that needs to get filled in and test out some of these people with stop losses there. That's my plan with LIDO. Should go higher, just buy dips on it. That's what I plan on doing. Obviously not financial advice, but my plan is to buy dips on all of these coins. ARB, same thing, like all these Ethereum coins look like they're ready to break out. This one already is, but it's starting to look toppy on the daily, so it should pull down. This one's a little bit messier to read, for me at least. I'll keep track of this level because I like marking those like first highs, pretty significant. I mean, you can see here it's been resistance, and then here it's just hugging it. So maybe similar idea where it's quite a big zone, but this could be support again. Ultimately, I would really like this one right here though. If it can come into, this is like a daily order block. If it can come into that, I'll look to load up. So I'll even put an alert there because I would love this level. And then we're just aiming for price discovery, okay? This is how we outperform everybody because we're gonna position in the stuff that's most likely gonna be super bullish. Ethereum-W. So I don't know if you want this on like the stream or not, just let me know. But because I have an active limit in the server right now for this, and it's at entry. I think it's this chart that I posted though. Where is it? Here it is. So I posted this a few days ago. Swing position, basically at entry. I have bids throughout this entire box. I like to use the EMA 13, 25, and 30 as trend. I'm basically just buying the daily trend, okay? With stop losses is losing the daily trend. It's allowed to close below it as long as it rapidly reclaims it. This is an active trade that I have in the server right now that I'm currently filling. And it's the same thought process as everything, right? It's that we're going to see a rotation into the Ethereum coins. And this chart just looks really good. I have a nice range high here, which is going to be my first take profit zone, probably these wicks around here. My next one is going to be up here. And ultimately, if it can come all the way up here, I would like that as well. So that's what we're looking at currently. Super nice invalidation. Again, it can trade below this. This is all manual stop loss for me. I'm just currently filling on ETHW because it's the new ETH, the shiny one, the best one. It has a W in it. So that's the thought process behind that. SEI. So I wanted to look at this coin too. It's nothing to do with Ethereum, but look at it. It's going crazy, right? This isn't like the FOMO because it's just blowing up. If it closes the daily as an S&P, we should get a really big pullback. But I'm basically just looking at these zones here to get bullish on it. Potentially this one, or maybe this one right here. This one is the ideal scenario for me, but it could stay here. I don't know much about this. I've just seen people talking about it on Twitter saying that this is this cycle's Solana, and everybody's buying into that, but it's super bullish. I know there's a meme coin on it too called Saiyan or Super Saiyan, which I wish I would have had some stuff on chain for that because that's clearly going to be a winner. But this thing is just taken off. This month alone, like it's up, or last month, since December, it's up that much, 222%. Not too shabby. I would like dips into 59, potentially all the way down to 50. We'll see if I get it. If not, if it starts putting in bullish price action at the highs, maybe we can go for it. But I mean, this is looking blow off top vibes. So I would like to get some lower fills if possible. It hasn't retested this zone either, just as an observation. We'll see. I think this is something that could do well though. Hasn't hit $1 yet. So people will take profit at $1. Okay, Celestial. So the last plan we had was to buy dips into here. That played out pretty well. If you put limits at current prices, you're up 20%, and then it went as high as %. So pretty good for a stream trade. Let's see how it looks now. So this is like tricky too, because it almost looks like it's starting to be toppy, but at the same time, it's pulling support. So it's like one of those questions, is this distributing or is it accumulating? I like to think that the markets are pretty bullish, so I'm just going to be on the accumulation side. If you look at a lower time frame, it gave a pretty good setup of right now almost. Might be tripping, but let me see something real quick. Yeah, look at that. If market can go up, this is pretty nice right here. That's how I'd play it. Pretty risky though, just because Ethereum broke down a little bit earlier today, but that's a pretty nice setup right there. Higher time frame seems to be that we're forming a support down here. So you just have to treat it as support until it's not, right? So if that setup right here doesn't work out, I'd be looking into some of these wicks. But it looks really nice. I like it a lot. A lot of airdrop stuff too going on, so people should just keep buying this stuff and probably not selling it. Oh look, oh never mind, that does have a wick. Last one for me is going to be Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 anew. This community is crazy, and I think if Ethereum runs, this meme coin could run pretty hard too. I bought it the other day, but I had to sell because I was leaving that exchange. But it's got the same kind of thing going on too. The whole like breakout retest vibe, right? And then look, really nice support, just hit it. So this is pretty, I think this looks great, honestly. Testing the 50 RSI, broke out of it the other day, retesting it on the daily. If it can hold, that's super nice. I might have to put some Ethereum back on chain to buy it. I think that this could do really well. Got nice support level right here, nice diagonal. It could come down here, which if it did, since it's on chain, I would just buy more. If it comes down to these levels, maybe trying to get the bottom portion of it. But same idea. I think it'll go higher. You have some nice target zones and then potentially just more, right? I know they meme really hard. I don't think it'll ever happen, but just to give you an idea of how crazy the community is, one of their taglines is the 10 is for $10. So if you got a bunch of people willing to hold it for that, like you can pull a lot of X's out of this. I definitely won't be holding for $10 because that's ridiculous. But even if we just get these highs again, and then hopefully new ones, right? Maybe look at 42 cents. Just do meme numbers, right? 42 cents, round number 50, 69 cents. If it can get to $1, cool. But this looks good for a nice little push. Okay, so that is going to be it for now. I will go ahead and pass this back on to you guys. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Quite informative. I feel like I'll be rich tomorrow based on your information. Thank you. And now GeForce is going to take us into the legacy markets.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to cover the legacy markets as I always do, and happy first trading day of 2024. And we'll see what happens in 2024. This is a big election year. Because of that, markets will tend to be supported. I guess that's the best way I can call it. Will be supported because the Federal Reserve and a few other people do not want the economy to influence the election because they have a different agenda. So anyway, that's how it's been. We saw huge evidence of that in the midterm election back in 2022. The markets from October 14th, just even though they're supposed to dump because the economic news was horrible, it just took off until the election was over. That was back in 2022. I'll go over my charts. What happens is that I do Bollinger Bands. I have a 2x band here, which is the lower band, and a 3x on the lower band, and also on the upper. There's a 2x here and a 3x there. The black line is the standard deviation line. Just to let everybody know that I still stick with the daily chart. All my charts that I'm going to show on TA Tuesdays are daily charts because to me, the daily chart is king. Anyway, so moving on, we have right now, you can see that the S&P is down 21 points at the moment. It had a great run up. If you look at this run up at the end of October, just boom, it just went straight up parabolic. So now what are we going to do going forward in 2024? This 4,700 line is obviously a mental line. It's not necessarily a technical line. People like, as Eddie said, round numbers and things of that nature. So you see it did tag it back here, and it's run up a little bit, and now I'm assuming it's going to tag it again, probably at this point. Okay, so right now, we're just going to see how it works on the 4,700. First part of the week is a little bit, everybody's adjusting their moves, everybody's adjusting their positions, everybody's adjusting things. So the market doesn't really give a really good indication of where it's going to go the first week of the trading year, with the first week in January. I'm going to flip over to NASDAQ, and we're going to look at NASDAQ. So with S&P 500, I like it. That's one I usually trade most of the time. And you can see that in the daily dose on the weekly S&P options on that. So here's NASDAQ. You're looking to see that it's going to drop, which it has today. It's a little bit more. It's down 240. And it's going to tag the standard deviation line, this middle black line at 16,459. It might do it today. It tried to wick down to it today, but probably not. But sometime this week, it'll probably tag that. You can see where it got tagged back here. And this is basically just to show that how the markets bounce off the standard deviation line and then run back up. Standard deviation line is basically, I call it no man's land. So you really don't know what it's going to do. I get real cautious when it gets down to the standard deviation line because we don't know if it's going to drop, or here where it just touches it and then bounces back off. So I'm always wait a little bit to see what happens when it's around the standard deviation line. You can see when it hits the 2x, the upper 2x band, it's just, okay, it's going that direction. It hits the 2x band, then yeah, it just rockets up. And then you can see here that it just traded, between the upper 2x band and the upper 3x band, just, for pretty much the month of December. So that was a Santa Claus rally. Going to move on to the Dow Jones 30. Had a good year last year, and as you can see here, just ripped from the end of October. It's up a little bit today, up 65. So again, psychological numbers, 37,000. It didn't even come down to it back here on December 20th. I think it will come back down to it because you can see the standard deviation line, the black line is moving up to it. So I think there will be a meeting right here, maybe a little bit at the end of this week or the beginning of the next week. But the Dow Jones 30 has been really strong, very supportive. So we'll see what happens in this coming week. Moving on to the dollar index. A lot of people like the dollar index because they think there's an inverse correlation with crypto. I've seen it. I'm become more of a believer over time, but it's not a direct inverse correlation. So you got to be a little bit cautious on it. Today it's boomed up. Okay. It's an election year coming up. Dollar's got to be strong. Got to have all those good propaganda things to do for election campaigns and things of that nature. So you can see that since November, it's just, we've had 4 lows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 6, too many to count. So now it's running back up to the standard deviation line, okay, which right here, it's around 102 and not quite 50 cents, a little under 0.46, 0.48. So it will go up and tag that after a strong day like today. And then what does it do once it tags the standard deviation line? I don't know. Again, it's no man's land. You can see here back in December that it tagged it, didn't know what to do, did a little bit of, I think I'm going to move up, did a little head fake right here with a head fake, and then it just dropped again. So again, like I said, I get cautious around those standard deviation line prices. Moving on to the US 10-year yield, there's definitely a inverse correlation between the US 10-year yield and the stock market itself. So we're going to take a look at that. Like I said, it is an inverse correlation. So as the market goes up, you can see the 10-year has gone down. It's gone down. Today, it did wick up. It did a wick. You can see here that it wicked up to the standard deviation line and came back down. Now, what's been going on with the 10-year yield lately is these wicks, okay? If you look at this wick back here on October 4th, and then it did it again October 6th. The wicks are like testing areas. People are testing to see if those prices will go up or it will go down. Okay, so this is yields going up. So we're going to say, okay, can we actually have a yield this high? And sure enough, it pulled back down to the standard deviation line and then it popped way past those wick points. Okay, so those were significant wicks. For bond markets to have a yield wick like that is pretty significant. So today, we have another significant wick that went up to the standard deviation line, okay? And it is basically at right there, that standard deviation line is 4%. So a nice round number, and that's interest rate, 4% interest rate. And then it's come back down, okay? So I suspect that it's going to move back up to that 4% interest rate because we've had so many lows. And if you look here, this low and between this low has been flat. It hasn't been really, the momentum on the lower interest rates is slowing down, and so now we're looking at a little bit of higher interest rates. But again, this is an election year so interest rates aren't going to go out of sight like they did last year and then came back down because of the election. So election has a lot to do with the market, unfortunately. Everything's political nowadays. Last but not least, I'm looking at gold. Okay, gold had a significant move up since the middle of December. It's moved up. It got back up to the level that I thought it would be, which was 2070, where it was right here. Went back down. Didn't go as far as it did over here in November 13th. Okay, that went pretty far. That was further than I thought it would go. But it did rally back up. Rallied above the 2000, got to 2000, went back down to the 2000 mark, hit that 80. That was a critical point. If it went down further, then it would probably hit this point here again to form a double bottom, but it didn't. It just rallied up at the end of the year. People were taking profits, and gold was up 13% this year. So for 2023, not this year, but for 2023, 13%. That's a rally. That's a good move for gold. So right now we're floating to see what gold's going to do. And right here at the standard deviation line, it's at 2035. So right now it's hard to say. I think it will come back down to 2000 level, down to this level again. And if it does, then what are we going to do at that point? That 2000 level probably will be the same level that the lower 2x band is at. But the bands are looking sideways for gold right now. You'll see everything, how the standard deviation line, the black line's flattening out. Everything is flattening out. So we could see some just mixed trading right now. Okay, that's it for me on the legacy markets. Back over to you.
I like the breakdown of the wicks today. that you brought in. I think that's something that I'm learning from both John and Eddie personally, in terms of just watching these gaps get filled and stuff like that. Definitely noticing it more. I think usually on the bigger coins. Maybe I need to look a little closer, squint my eyes on the low caps. But yeah, thanks Eddie, thanks John, and that's it for this week. As a member of DeFi-Logic server, you can request chart reviews and discuss the markets daily in the server with other members and with John and Eddie themselves. If you're interested in our trading view indicator strategies, feel free to come in the server and test them out for free during the alpha and beta testing periods. So don't delay, join now. Happy New Year, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for the guys that showed up in the server. Adios, amigos.
Join us next week in Discord for TA Saturday at DeFiLogic.com.